Jesus.
Hey guys, welcome to our channel Uniplex. Guys, in today's video, we will be showing 8 horrific road moments caught on cameras, which have caused significant financial loss to people, and some individuals luckily escaped from nearby deaths. So without wasting any more time, let's start today's video. Moscow, Russia is the largest city in the world's biggest country. It's home to about 13 million people who all lived through a record-breaking storm in the spring of 2017. Everybody was going about their daily lives when this storm hit out of nowhere. The wind whipped through the city at over 70 miles per hour. It toppled trees, telephone poles, and anything else in its path. One driver had their dash cam rolling as they tried to escape the madness. According to reports, this was the worst storm to hit the Russian capital since 1998. It was also the costliest. The storm ripped up 3,500 trees. It damaged over 1,500 vehicles and roughly 240 buildings. According to the locals, there was no prior warning. The storm hit during rush hour, which caused many people to suffer injuries while stuck in their cars. Minnesota nice refers to a Minnesotan's tendency to be kind and friendly, yet emotionally reserved. They enjoy self-deprecating humor and would rather stay out of the spotlight. They always obey the rules, except when it comes to train signals, apparently. State Patrol Sergeant Jeff Shea had just pulled over a semi-truck for inspection. The truck passed, and Sergeant Shea got back in his cruiser. That's when he saw the train lights ahead and the truck pulling away. Shea assumed the truck would stop. Perhaps he was being a little too nice that day.
SP 584 Virginia.
By the time it stopped, the train had already dragged the truck about a quarter mile. Sergeant Shea calls the accident in as he drives to check on the other driver. He keeps things slow, as the snowy conditions could send him skidding off the road. Once he parks, he sprints to the passenger's side to check on the driver.
584, you want Morgan first responder?
You okay? Yeah.
The driver claims he was watching the other car go in front of him. He wasn't paying attention and never saw the flashing lights. He didn't hear the blaring horn either. Thankfully, he was okay, just a little frustrated by his own stupidity. Next, Sergeant Shea checks on the train driver, who was also unharmed. In fact, he was more concerned about the truck driver. The semi-driver's Minnesota niceness was on full display when Sergeant Shea noticed a cut above his eye. The driver said he was fine and didn't want the medical team to waste their time. He was ultimately cited for failing to stop at a railroad crossing. We assume the fine and shame was enough to teach him a valuable lesson. Always look both ways before crossing the tracks. Most crane accidents involve gravity and heights. This one was all about speed. A mobile crane was late to a job in Singapore on March 14th of 2015. Dash cams were rolling as traffic piled up. Little did they know this crazy crane driver was about to barrel through. It looks like the blue car got the worst of it. Our drivers in the black car ahead were only clipped on the driver's side.
Huh? You okay? Okay, just hit my head now.
It looks like the men in the black car was okay. Our driver and passenger checked with each other. One of them hit their head, but they felt all right. From what we can gather, this crash happened as cars were exiting the Kranji Expressway in Singapore. There were 10 vehicles involved, with some drivers getting it worse than others. One car even had 3 children in the back. Thankfully, everyone walked away without any significant injuries. Irkutsk, Russia is a major city north of Mongolia. It's the 25th largest city in the country and home to over 600,000 people. It's also home to a husband and wife who lived through every driver's worst nightmare. It was July 16th of 2015. Our Russian couple was driving along a quiet 2-lane road when something crazy happened up ahead. An 18-wheeler in the oncoming lane lost one of its tires. What happened next looked more like a scene from an action movie. By some miracle, nobody was injured during the crash. The truck driver walked away with a few bumps and bruises. While it sounds like our Russian couple had a heart attack, they were ultimately okay. Blowouts happen when there's a rapid loss of pressure in your tire. The tire randomly bursts, which is extremely dangerous when traveling at high speeds. Thankfully, blowouts are rare. According to the NTSB, there are 33,000 tire-related crashes each year. Only 2,000 of them are because of blowouts. It's unclear what led to this blowout and why losing one tire sent this truck hurtling out of control. According to the World Health Organization, smoking claims 8 million lives each year. But on January 1st of 2016, a cigarette likely saved this man's life on a highway in central China. A severe fog had descended upon a freeway near Nanyang, a city of roughly 9 million people. You could barely see your hand in front of your face, let alone the cars stopped on the road. This man decided that standstill traffic was the perfect time for a cigarette. Well, it's a good thing he's the kind of guy who doesn't like to smoke in his car. Our driver moved away from the scene, but his ordeal wasn't over yet. There was another truck following close behind the first. Luckily, our driver escaped without injury. His car, on the other hand, was totaled. It's unclear how many cars crashed that day. If we had to guess, these truck drivers weren't the only ones involved in a bad fender bender. One thing is certain, this guy needed a cigarette after that. Carlisle River is a rural village in Victoria, Australia. It's only home to a few hundred people. Most passing through are probably on their way between Colac and Princeton. On August 17th of 2022, 3 of those people became forever entwined after one of the craziest close calls you'll ever see. A trucker was driving down Carlisle Road, a narrow 2-lane highway that snakes through the forest. He hit the brakes when he came upon a woman who had just run over a downed tree. She never saw it as she came around the bend. Unfortunately, she wasn't the only driver this tree would surprise that day.
Jesus. You on channel dive?
Our driver, Mark, is a father of 2. His life flashed before his eyes when the other truck nearly took him out. Miraculously, the driver thread the needle between Mark's truck and the woman on the road. Nobody got hurt, though all 3 needed a few minutes to catch their breath. Mark's dash cam shows the other trucker wasn't at fault. Nobody could have seen that tree. From what we can gather, he wasn't speeding either. The crunching sound you hear is the woman's car getting hit. She jumped out of the way and avoided injury. Her car was totaled, but she was just happy to be alive. The Portman Bridge is a 6,600-foot cable-stayed bridge in British Columbia, Canada. It has 10 lanes of traffic, 5 in each direction, and a speed limit of 55 miles per hour. The Portman opened in 2012 to replace an old steel arch bridge over the Fraser River. It connects the cities of Coquitlam to Surrey and services about 150,000 vehicles per day. It was November 29th of 2023. A driver was having car problems and pulled into the far right lane. He put his flashers on, but a thick fog prevented anybody from seeing him. It was a terrible position for anyone to be in, and it was about to get even worse. This footage comes from a Tesla's dashcam in the far left lane. Keep your eye on the cement truck up ahead. They're driving steadily through the fog. Not too fast, not too reckless. How are they supposed to know there's someone stopped in the middle of the road? The broken down pickup comes out of nowhere. The cement truck swerves, but the driver runs into the middle of the bridge. He barely sidesteps as the cement truck screams by. His pickup takes a beating, and our Tesla is forced to pull over. Meanwhile, the truck driver stands there with his arms out as if to say, "What the heck, man?" It's unclear who was ultimately blamed. Never underestimate the power of the ocean. It can sneak up and drag you away when you least expect it. This father-son duo in the UK learned that lesson the hard way when their car was narrowly swept out to sea. Guy was driving his son Luke to a rugby match in Cumbria, a county in northwestern England. The GPS took them along a coast road overlooking the Irish Sea. A storm had brewed over the water, sending monster waves crashing into the seawall. Now there's a reason the silver car was backing away when Guy and Luke arrived.
No, I don't like this at all, Carleen. Go back. We're getting stuck.
The waves were relentless. They were striking faster than Guy's windshield wipers could handle. Plus, they'd flooded the road up ahead. One big wave could have easily dragged their car into the sea. Thankfully, this dad was able to back up to safety. When asked about the experience, Guy said he regretted it immediately. He should have never even tried. Those waves are notorious for throwing rocks and driftwood during stormy conditions. Something could have easily broken through their window. Next time, he'll put safety ahead of a rugby match. Guys, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video for so long patiently. If you enjoy this video, you can like and comment, and if you want to see such strange and interesting videos, you can subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon next to it. See you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay well. Thank you.